Ready? All right, welcome. My name is Colleen. I'm with the Soil Conservation District, and I'm going to do a little session today for our outdoor classroom on water quality. All right, before you have an Enviroscape. An Enviroscape is a tabletop model that shows different environments. We've got a farm, a pasture, a park, we have a neighborhood, we have a really busy street that goes through, a couple little creeks, and we have a lake. So what we're going to do today is we're going to get dirty. So I hope you're ready to get a little dirty, okay? So what I want you to think about when we're doing this is all the different types of pollution that could end up in our water. Now, I'm going to pretend that this tabletop model is the city of Storm Lake. Most of you have been to Storm Lake, maybe you have even visited our lake at Storm Lake, and like our tabletop model, we have a busy road that goes through, just like Storm Lake does, and these little creeks and waterways that end up flowing into Storm Lake. So that's how we're going to look at this today, okay? So we're going to go around, we're going to pollute our town and our city, and then you guys are going to get your thinking caps on, and we're going to figure out what we could have done to prevent all that pollution from ending up in our lake. All right, you ready to get started? All right, I am too. So let's get going. Let's start over here. We have a farm field. Now, we have farms that do farm right by Storm Lake, and so farmers need to do certain things to get their ground ready to grow their corn and soybeans. So some of the pollution, well actually, you tell me, think about it for a second. What would be some pollution from a farm field that would end up in Storm Lake? Gonna give you a second. All right, okay. One of the things is gonna be very obvious. It's gonna be soil. We're gonna have exposed soil on our farm field. If we don't have anything covering that soil, that could end up being pollution. Now, farmers are also putting fertilizer on their farm fields. We're putting fertilizer. Now, as you can see, I've got all these little cups. They're all different kinds of Kool-Aids. Okay, we're gonna put some fertilizer. Fertilizer is gonna help the crops grow. Very important. Now, when I was growing up, we had to walk beans because that was before herbicides. Now they put herbicides on the farm fields to eliminate the weeds. I used to have to pull the cockleburs and the buttonweeds. Now we have herbicides that will eliminate those weeds from getting into the crops. Very important. Now, also like we have weeds, we can have insects that are going to be out in those farm fields. Aphids would be a big one that come out in like June, and they can destroy a soybean field. So let's put some insecticides on there. And let's see, I think that's pretty good. Did we do fertilizer? We had fertilizer, herbicide, insecticide, and we've done soil. So we've got a lot of things farmers need over here to help their crops grow. Now, let's go over here. This farmer also has cattle. He has cattle, and the cattle are out in this pasture, and the pasture is right along the stream that flows right into Storm Lake. What kind of pollution are we gonna get from a pasture? I'm gonna give you a second. Think about it. Use those big brains of yours. Okay, pollution from a pasture. That will probably be cow poop, all right? Very simple. Let's use some, if I can get that open. Well, this will be quicker. We're gonna put a little cow doo-doo along our pasture here, okay? So that would be, that would be pollution from our farm field. That was a big cow doo-doo there. That was a big one. All right, there's our pasture. Let's move our way this way. We have a busy road that goes right through Storm Lake. We would have Flint Drive, East West Milwaukee. That is probably the busiest street that we have. What are we gonna have for pollution? Before I start, I'm gonna stop myself. I want you to think for a second. Pollution that could end up in our rivers and streams and our lake from a busy road. What would we have? Okay. First one would be gravel, rocks and gravel. So I'm going to put some pepper on there for the gravel and the rocks. I know when I have to vacuum out my car, it's always got a ton of gravel and rocks in there. Okay, another thing could be oil, gas from our cars. So I'm gonna just sprinkle some of that along there. Okay. Now, we could have, a question for you. We live in an area that's really cold. It gets really cold here in the wintertime and we can get really icy roads. What do we use on our roads when it gets icy outside? Yes, good job. Salt. We put salt on our roads in the wintertime. So I've got salt on there. So on our roads, we have salt, we have garbage, we have oil and gas. Okay, our roads are now all polluted. Let's move over here to our housing development. So we have our houses and we have a nice little street there. So what are we gonna have for pollution from our house, from our neighborhoods? Just our neighborhoods. Think about where you live. If you live in town, what kind of pollution would we have from our neighborhoods? Give you a second. All right, let's see. Just like the farmers, I know my husband and I like a nice green yard, so we're gonna put fertilizer. In fact, that's something that we'll be doing here before too long, putting fertilizer on our yards. Get nice green grass. Now, on another way that we're kind of like the farmers, we don't want any weeds. We don't want dandelions. We have dandelions popping up all over right now. So we're gonna put herbicides out there to kill the dandelions, kill the crabgrass. We don't want that in our yards. Okay, what else might we have? I know sometimes in the summertime I like to wash my car. So if I'm washing my car down there in the street or in my driveway, I'm gonna get soap. So we'll use this again. So we might have soap and dirt that comes off our driveways from our cars as we're washing our cars. Now, we didn't talk about this yet. Where does that go? Everything that's in our streets, where does it end up? It's gonna end up in a storm drain. The storm drains are those holes that are cut out in your streets along the curbs, and the rainwater goes in those curbs and it washes down below and into a pipe that's gonna outlet somewhere. So it's gonna outlet somewhere, probably a body of water or a ditch that's gonna end up in a body of water. So what we're doing up here, even in our neighborhoods, is gonna end up down in our lake and our streams. Okay, so this guy right here in the corner, he's building a brand new house. We've got the cement truck there. He's getting ready to pour the foundation. The backhoe has already been there. We've dug out our hole, the big site where we're gonna build our house. So, pollution from our construction site, we're gonna have a lot of exposed soil. That backhoe has dug that hole for our basement, and now we have all of this dirt laying around. Nothing's covering that dirt. We have black soil everywhere. We have a new house going in actually behind us here, and there's black dirt back there as well. The house is built now, and now they're getting rid of the soil, but we will talk about what they did in the meantime when we come back and visit. All right, over here, we have a park. We have a city park. Storm Lake has beautiful parks. All those little towns around here have beautiful parks. What is pollution in our parks? I'm gonna give you a second. Go ahead and think about it. Okay, we could have dog doo-doo in our parks. People are always walking dogs into the parks. Dogs love to visit parks. It's a great place for them to get out and run. So we would have dog waste. And we might have garbage. Garbage from picnics or just garbage that blows into our parks. Okay, our last one, site that we're going to visit. This is, let's see, we don't need that tube. We're not doing that one today. All right, so we have a big industry or a big, like this here, I'm going to say this is Walmart. I'm going to use Walmart because pretty much everybody has been to the Walmart parking lot, right? So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the parking lot. What kind of pollution are we going to get from the Walmart parking lot? Think about it for a second. That great big parking lot, what are we going to get off that parking lot that's going to end up in our rivers and streams? Okay, number one, again, like the roads, rocks and gravel. We're going to get a lot of rocks and gravel from those parking lots. We're going to get, we could have salt as well in the wintertime. We're going to have salt to defrost and get that ice off those parking lots. We're going to have oil, gas as well, and probably we'll use this for some garbage. Lots of garbage in those big parking lots. Now, just like Walmart, we also have big industries like Tyson. Tyson has huge parking lot. You've got semis coming and going all the time. And any kind of big industry is going to have big parking lots. Buena Vista University has tons of cars when school is active. That's another big parking lot that could potentially have a lot of pollution coming off of it. Okay, so here's our city. We have done a great job making that city dirty. Now, what we're going to do is, what did I do with my water bottle? Did I take it in the house?